All right, guys, today we're going to be talking about the cost of grading with PSA versus the values that we got back on my first submission. I know that whenever I was trying to figure out how this whole grading process worked, it was kind of hard to find simple videos that kind of broke it down pretty simple, and one of the simplest processes of doing it. I did not want to submit it online because I felt like I was going to screw it up, so I personally went through GameStop. So local GameStop to me, it's about 10-12 minutes away. They actually send in cards for you to PSA. So let me start there. So we'll go with one of the cards, or I have 7 here, but I'll show you all of them and kind of break down the cost and so forth. But GameStop's cost is $19.99 per card to send off for grading. They have to physically wait until they have 20 or 25 cards at the store collectively before they send it off. But in my case, I think it was just I waited 2 or 3 more days and they actually shipped it out. With the total turnaround days being, I sent them on June 9th, and today is August the 2nd, and when they finally came back. And so we're close to that 60-day mark when getting a turnaround time. But if you're able to wait, it's definitely an easy process. So with GameStop, the only requirement they have, and I'll try to bring one up I was going to send off for grading, is that you put them in these style sleeves. All right. So this is a Japanese card later on. It's a card saver with a penny sleeve in it. They do not want them in your top loaders. PSA does not want them in a top loader, but they were good with these styles. So I've got a few that I'm going to be sending out here shortly. So if you ever thought about sending cards, GameStop is definitely a viable option for you. It may be a couple dollars more expensive to go that route, but it's super simple. And then you check the statuses of the cards online, just like you would do through PSA, but you do it kind of through GameStop. All right, so here's kind of the roadmap of how it went down. So walked in, gave them 7 cards. I paid them $19.99 per card, which equal to $144.92 with tax, $144.92 with tax. I got a notification saying they were good to pick up, but there was an upgrade cost. So depending on the values of the cards, whether it be above 100, 200, 300, depending on the value, I think it's above 500 versus above 100, there is an upgrade cost. I had 3 upgrade costs, 2 $5 upgrades and 1 $40 upgrade, which means one of these cards is worth a good little bit. It's definitely this one right here, and I'll show you that here in a minute. But I submitted them through GameStop, sent them off. It was just under 60 days that I got them back, and we're going to start with the first card. Oh, I almost started with a high dollar card that I got back, and that was a Cerulege EX, and it came back as a 9. So this card raw is $15.26. As a 9, I got $25 is what it's worth. Now, I use price charting for my the ways that I gather my values. Now, sometimes, that page can be a little difficult, but with price charting, it does show the last sold eBay listings. All right, this is a Ghastly. I honestly, it was just a little, the whole picture was a little left, so it was kind of, definitely had a thicker border on the right-hand side. So I was hoping it would get a 10, but it definitely just got a 9. This Ghastly, the raw cost was $39.95. The PSA 9 was $45.95, and then the PSA 10 was $267. So I was hoping for the 10, but we got the 9, so we at least kept our value there. All right, that's 2 down. This is the Executor EX, Special Illustration Rare. This one raw was $20, as a 9 was $24, and as a 10 it was $40.45. So definitely a 10 from there. So pretty good on that one. This one, Charmeleon, of the 3 SIRs or Illustration Rare from the 151, this is kind of the Charizard, Charmeleon, and Charmander. This one's the lesser of the value of the 3, but still raw, it's $8.47. As a 9, it's $20.78, and as a 10 is $46.68. All right, let's go with this one. So I have 3 more left, and these were kind of my big hitters. This was the $5 upgrade. The next one was the $5 upgrade, and this was the $40 upgrade. But this one is Team Rocket's Meowth. It was raw graded, or raw cost was $25.44. As a PSA 9 was $46, and as a PSA 10 was $274.41. That is the average sold listings. So definitely come back pretty well. Giratina. So I did miss the whole big bump with Giratina when this card went kind of crazy and costs went out through the roof, but they are still going pretty high at the moment. The raw cost of this card is $153.75. So just selling it raw, that's the average cost you would get from it. Then PSA 9 is $151, so it's just a teeny bit less. But if it came back as a 9, you would at least get your money back, or you at least get similar to the cost of what the raw would be. But as a PSA 10, it's $338.50. So that came back as a PSA 10. All right, so now let's talk about the big boy. And we can probably all guess why this is the big boy. This is the Charizard EX 151, the special illustration rare, the card that everybody tries to grab from that 151 series. As a raw card, this card, it cost $185 average. As a 9, it's $203, and as a PSA 10, it is $761 as a PSA 10. So we definitely did very well with this submission. I will tell you that altogether, my total cost of sending these 7 cards out, so there's of course 2 more over here, kind of a little off camera, was $194.92. If I were to just sell these 7 cards raw, the average cost or average value I would have got back would be $262.91. So I definitely could have just said, hey, I'm not going to grade them, I'll just sell them outright, and made $260 bucks. But value graded, as they sit right here, added all the values together, is $1,532.24. So $1,532 is what the value is. So if I take the value that they currently are sitting right here on the table, subtract my $194 in cost, I have $1,337.32. I kind of, I think we did very well. I know these 3 right here were definitely the big hitters of the group, but let's just say that I was to take these all, throw them on eBay. I think average, when you talk about shipping, you talk about the eBay cost. If you do 5% for kind of them showcasing your cards when you search different cards, about 25% of what you earn back is going to be taken away just in cost in general. And that being said, even if I took the 25% away, I would still gain about $1,000 total. So definitely did very well. This Charizard, everybody loves. The Giratina, people really, really enjoy. The funny thing is, out of all these, I was hoping the Ghastly came back as a 10 just because I enjoy the card, but it is what it is. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Hopefully that's spread it out. If you have a local GameStop, please call them up and try to see if they can get you your cards graded, because it was definitely a simple process. All right, take care.